Okay, good afternoon. Good to see everyone. Just quickly recap, Saturday was probably our most complete game that we had played through the year, and was exciting. Great time to do it. Middle of a playoff run, and then on the road to a team that you had previously lost to here at home, I think on homecoming around September 30th or so. But kids played well in all three phases, had explosive plays. I think we had 10 of them offensively. Probably one of the biggest plays of the game was probably our first third down. The game didn't start off, great. We took a sack right on the first play on a naked. They did a nice job of adding in on some man coverage, and but Cam made a big throw to Braylon Henderson on that third and 19. Huge conversion, and just kind of got things rolling a little bit. And then defense settled in, gave up a field goal on their first drive, and then created a couple takeaways later in the first half. A big one right before halftime, but. To come out of the game with nearly over 200 yards both on the ground and in the air, I think says a lot about how multiple we've become offensively, the number of different weapons we have on the perimeter in the backfield. Offensive line played really well. Gave up one sack to a team that had 35-ish, probably going into the game. Had gotten a lot of pressure on teams throughout the year. And then I thought on the other side of the ball, we did a really good job of impacting their quarterback. Getting to his toes, forcing him to put air on the ball, throwing kind of off schedule. I know the one pick that essentially bounced off Luke Wirtz's face. The tips and overthrows, though, you can't discredit them. But again, making him throw, off rhythm on the run, just a lot of complimentary football. Couldn't say enough about our approach. Coaches did an unbelievable job last week, and now we even have a bigger opportunity this week going on the road to Missoula, Montana. Coach Houck's team has played really well. They have, early in the season, I'm sure that, they had some ups and downs as well. Losing to NAU, didn't play well against Ferris State. Probably some question marks there, but boy, they've solidified things. They've won some big games on the road at Idaho, being one of them that I know I think it was a late night game. I had opportunity to watch a little bit of it, but I have a ton of respect and admiration for Coach Houck and the way he does things. They play unbelievably hard, and we know that it's going to be an environment second to none. 25,000 plus fans at Washington Grizzly Stadium, and so our kids are looking forward to it and ready to get back on the practice field this week. We'll be outside a little bit if anyone wants to come hang out and watch some football. But right now, knock on wood, the weather looks like it'll be decent, but I anticipate it can change at a blink of an eye in Missoula.
The news that broke yesterday, kind of about your journey coming up here, kind of just comment on that, the decision to take that job at USC.
Difficult decision. I've been here for 10 years. I kind of put out a little statement yesterday. I've spent 35% of my coaching career here. My boys grew up here. This place has been unbelievable to Team Ents. It's been the number of friends and colleagues that I have, that really good friends that I have that are here in Fargo, within our administration, within our coaching staff, in the community is second to none. And so this will always be a home away from home, and just an opportunity for me to continue to grow and develop. I wouldn't leave. I wouldn't leave NDSU for just anything. And I've had other opportunities along the way, and they just didn't maybe spark my interest, or the timing wasn't right. And this was a unique opportunity for me and my wife.
When Kleiman left, was in the middle of a playoff run, you taking over, I mean, does that help you, prepare for a week where, you're leaving at the end of the season with the way that situation played out?
There's a little familiarity. I don't think it makes it any easier for me. Yesterday's conversation with the team and with the leadership group was difficult. You put everything you have into them for 365 days a year, and you want to see them have success. You want to see them do great things on and off the field and in the classroom. So, maybe there's some similarities to it, but I don't know if anything prepares you for how it's going to yank at the strings to your heart.
A connection for USC with you? Was there any prior to this?
Not a whole lot, really, to be honest. I'm going to say word of mouth, probably the best way to do it. There is a little bit of the new defensive coordinator there. Coach Lynn has some connections to to Coach Bradley, who, Coach Lynn was Kyle Emanuel's position coach with the Chargers, and so there's a little bit of familiarity that way, but just I think Coach Riley reaching out, trying to identify who would be a good fit, and my name popped up a couple times, and that's kind of how it went down.
The Big Ten, how much of that is a help as well? They're going to be playing in the Midwest.
Well, I anticipate there's probably some correlation there with them wanting to have the footprint is the Midwest now, and what does that look like moving forward in recruiting? What does it look like, moving forward with just how the conferences have realigned to this date? So I'm sure that helps having a footprint. My footprint is in the Midwest, and having recruited the majority, really the bigger scope of it. Hopefully that'll be an asset to them.
Reaction like from the guys, you mentioned the tough conversation you had to have there, but what have you heard from your guys so far?
The number of text messages, emails, phone calls that I've received has been unbelievable from former players, parents of former players, former coaches, friends, current players, current parents of our players. Has just been unbelievable and very much appreciated. Again, hard decision. You sit around, you beat yourself up over it. Am I doing the right thing? And I feel good about it, but when people are willing to reach out and it's nice to hear the positive things, and then hopefully I've had a positive impact on the student athletes here at NDSU.
About this position that sparked your interest?
Well, I mean, to me, it's a top 5 program in the country, and when USC's playing good football, college football is better for it. I mean, it's no different than, I think there's other schools out there. When Florida State's good, it's good for college football. When Notre Dame's good, it's good for college football. And when the Trojans are good, it's good for college football. And I have some mutual friends of Coach Riley's, and I know they speak, very highly of him. Probably being a lot like the people that are here. He's a West Texas native, kind of blue collar, and so that was one of the things I wanted to associate myself with, people that are like-minded like myself.
Why now? Is it recruiting? Is there, why not next week? Or is there a signing date thing? Or what?
Well, yeah. I think we just, at some point, I think, yes, signing date's coming up. There's always the unique thing of there's the brand, the transfer portal is becoming a bigger and bigger other recruiting tool that schools are utilizing right now. And so, I'm sure on their end and speaking on behalf of Coach Riley, having someone in that seat makes it a lot easier now to recruit, to maintain recruits moving forward than just saying, hey, you know what, we have someone hired at this time.
USC, and you already spoke to that, but how did you weigh wanting to be a head coach maybe at the next level and then taking an assistant's job? Again, understanding it's USC, so it's a...
Betting on myself a little bit, Mike. I have head coaching experience, not something that anyone can take away from me at this time, but, to be transparent, I've had some people tell me, well, you don't have FBS recruiting experience, you don't have, you haven't really dove into NIL. And so those have been kind of marks against me, if you will. And so saw this as an opportunity to, continue to further and broaden my circle of people. Still going to have some relevance here in the Midwest, which was comforting because our footprint is the Big Ten now. And hopefully this will lead to some other opportunities down there. Would I like to be a head coach again? Of course I would.
Having this news break and now preparing, for a game, the reaction to the players.
The reactions were yesterday. Got a bunch of hugs and pats on the back, and a lot of guys telling me that they knew something was up because of how long Mrs. Entz's hugs were after the game yesterday. So that was the dead giveaway, that there was something going on. And so, but today it looks like status quo. Sat in with the defensive staff the majority of the morning. Bounced in and out with the offense a little bit, trying to, sat in on an NCAA meeting in regards to our game this Saturday, and feels like just another Monday right now, and with the anticipation that we're going to dive into this meet. I have a leadership council meeting at 2:40, and then special teams at 3 o'clock. It looks kind of like Groundhog's Day.
Now, a third straight road game, like you said, the environment, I mean, is that, what's the challenge of just having to win on the road 3
Well, it's just, I think anytime you go on the road, you're away from home, you're sleeping in a hotel, there's all these excuses that you can come up with. I think that's one of the things we'll identify and probably talk quickly about today is there are no excuses anymore. Best teams find ways to win, and that's what we need to do. We need to put together great plans, both offensively, defensively. We're going to have to put a plan together on special teams that is really solid, because they have an unbelievable return specialist, both on kickoff and punt return. But at the end of the day, we got to have a great week. For us to have any success on Saturday, we have to have a great Monday through Friday.
It was up and down throughout the playoffs have been huge. I don't know if you noticed, but it looks like every game has been
So
decided.
you're talking in the FCS playoffs? There is. I mean, and I think, Jeff, probably just the way some teams emphasize it and some just get by with it. I think it's something here that we put a ton of effort and energy into, and you saw it on Saturday. I mean, we had probably 6 huge blocks on that punt return, and guys executing, all the way through the catch and through the return. It's Eli Ozick has added an element to us on kickoff now, where a guy that can put it 5-6 yards deep in the end zone, and all of a sudden you're negating some threats of big returns. When you have 2 really good teams, what's the area that can tip it one way or the other? And special teams has been, I think, kind of what you're talking about. It has helped some people solidify wins and got people right back in the game.
Set a school record. What sets him apart as a returner?
Well, I think one, he's fearless back there. Sometimes we all probably hold our breath a little bit when he's back there, because he's not afraid to catch it in traffic. He has great trust with the other 10 guys on the team. Longevity, just the willingness to do it. I don't think that's fall camp when we're repping and finding our depth for punt returners. It's not a spot that a whole lot of people are willing to. It's completely different than kickoff return. Kickoff return, you got, time and space. Now you just got time, and because they're flying down there. It's just a different element. The ball travels differently. Is it end over end? Is it, is the nose up? Is the nose down? Is it turning over? It takes a unique, individual to be back there, and he's embraced it. He's loved doing it, and. It is really, I didn't know that he broke the record until I got on the bus Saturday night. I think there's a couple other records we broke that, or at least tied that day too. But really, really excited for him, and hopefully we get a chance to get him another one.
Kind of plan for next week for signing day. If you win or lose, what's going to be the deal? Like, are you fronting that for signing day? What's the plan?
Yeah, there'll be an event for signing day on Wednesday of next week. Yep, and. Our staff has done a tremendous job. They've connected with everybody, committed, non-committed, guys that are still kind of in limbo, and our guys are, they do a great job. And I said it again, I said it on yesterday, that the kids come here because of NDSU. There's been numerous people that have sat in the front of the room. There's been thousands upon thousands of faces that have been, wearing the helmet here, and. This place just finds a way to continue to get the right people in the right spots, and that's enabled us to continue to elevate this program.
FCS head coach, even at NDSU, is much different today than it was 3, 4, 5 years ago with all the stuff going on. Did that play in your decision to move on?
No, Mike, I don't think so. I think it had more to do with the opportunity that was presented to me. I think NDSU has the resources, the tools, the facilities, the support to continue to have great success. Yes, has college football adjusted? Yes. Is NDSU in the process of adjusting as well? I think so. I think we've had to slowly adjust as we've seen transfer portal, NIL, COVID, roster management effects. I think we're but one thing that I think you can. Because I don't think this is a knee-jerk reaction type of university. This isn't a knee-jerk reaction program or athletic department. And as those things have happened, we've tried to make the right adjustments in our recruiting philosophy, how we handle NIL, all those things. So that way, we're not having to change every other week or every month or every year. We have a philosophy and we're moving forward with it.
For a successor?
That's a decision for our administration. I can think of people that I think would do a tremendous job.
Fondest recollections of 2015 in Washington Grizzly Stadium for the FCS kickoff game?
Someone earlier mentioned just the environment. I anticipate it'll be as loud, if not louder, for this one. But that was an unbelievable. You talk about, I think Brent Musburger was the play-by-play that day. Nice yellow haze throughout the mountains there, because I think we were in a smoke. But just how excited, how passionate their fan base is. And so we're going to have to, again, it helps us that we were in Montana 2 weeks ago and played in front of a raucous crowd, and we'll do it again this week. I anticipate there'll be a fair number of Bison fans that find a way to get out there and get into the stadium. But this is going to be us versus everybody, and I think our kids are, they enjoy that. But it'll be fun. This is what college football is supposed to be: big games on the road, and kind of the Bison versus everybody at this time.
Their defense, particularly Governor, the D tackle, just a game record.
Right, he tremendous player. Played against him a year ago, and we remember him from that game. Plays nose guard, can cut the field in half, can create knockback, can really disrupt some run game, and doesn't have gaudy stats, but you know where he is all the time. And someone we're going to have to account for. Ton of movement in their front, in their package. They kind of operate out of a 3-3-5, 3-4, but they're going to have people aligned everywhere. They do a really good job. People have really struggled to run on the perimeters, and so that's something that we've kind of seen just because of the number of overhang players they have, and then they got two corners that aren't afraid to lock you up too. So when you have the ability to play some big zones, some man coverage, and you got guys that can really dent the line of scrimmage, we're gonna have to be at our best to be successful.
Difference between this Montana team and the team you saw a year ago? What do you think the biggest?
Well, I think the quarterback play is significantly different. They have a guy at the quarterback position who's confident, equally effective with his feet and his arm. Can get hot and stay hot to get over 700 yards rushing, and we'll do something power sweep, quarterback zone. I think they're more multiple probably with him as well from an offensive standpoint. And then I think defensively, I think just playing with a little more confidence maybe than I saw a year ago, or they're creating more of those negative plays that get people off schedule, and that's I think that's a sign, that's a trademark of a Coach Houck coached football team.
Describe the pressure that a guy like Junior Bergen puts on the kicking game. I'm sure you just don't want to kick it right to him. How does that, whether it's directional or whatever,
Right.
attack?
Well, starts with trying to utilize directional kicking, and that's something that we've always had a piece of what we do schematically, but we got to hit our spots too. That's on Eli and Steiny to be able to hit their spots. If we want it to the right, we got to hit it to the right. Can't put it back down the middle. So execution is going to be a huge thing, and then just being able to finish with the tackle and getting off blocks at the line of scrimmage, because they do a really good job on punt D of getting hands on and doing and mugging you the entire way down the field. It's going to be a 40-yard battle to get off blocks and find a way to get him down the ground.
Feel like you're just in a unique situation. You're a win away from going to Frisco, and this or possibly the next game could be your last one. And so what's this like for you?
I enjoy every single moment, but I think it'd be the same regardless of what my situation was. This is about the players. This is about putting them in the best situation that we can to have success. And I said it a week ago. We nobody wants to lose, but if we're going to make it hard for people to beat us, though, if that makes sense. That we're going to play as hard as we can. We're going to put a great plan together. Our kids will be prepared on Saturday, and I know theirs will be as well. And it's going to be a great game for FCS football and college football in general.
Dylan Hendricks, you thought he was fine on Saturday. You still anticipate he'll be ready to go?
Fingers crossed. fingers crossed. The one thing that right now we're dealing with a little bit is, I don't know if it's the influenza, just kind of moving around a little bit. So we do have some guys, not necessarily Dylan, but we've got some guys that are kind of, not feeling the best right now. So hopefully we'll get everyone healthy and get them back on the grass and get moving. But I hope we'll have him. He's had a great second half of the year and has been a huge difference maker for us.
Words, he's made some big plays in the run game the last couple weeks. What have you seen, how he's elevated in the playoffs?
Just really confident in the game plan going in every week. He does the unrequired. Luke's watching film when he doesn't have to be in the meeting rooms before Coach Olson shows up. The little things paid off and are paying off for him right now. Being intentional at practice about putting a chest on someone in a thud period, not just tagging off. The little things, you are what you tolerate, and Luke has held himself to a really high standard right now.
You knew obviously Cole Sneski could handle the position change, but to change positions and have 8 interceptions, tie a school single season, I mean, just to flourish like he did, I mean, how hard is it to do what he's been doing?
I don't think it's easy for anyone. I mean, I know we've moved some other guys, in my 10 years here that have gone from linebacker to safety or safety to linebacker, and there's always a learning curve. But I think the thing, Cole, 4.0, unbelievably bright young man, and he again, go back to that word, he's done the unrequired. The minute we made the decision, he changed his body. He went from 235 to 220. Worked on change of direction. Worked on skill set that would be required for him in the back in the secondary. But you talk about a film guy, a weight room guy, someone that's going to do the extra stuff to give himself a chance to be successful. And he's just a good football player. What you see now is a little bit of what it looked like in high school. When you turned his film on. I mean, he was playing quarterback, he was playing safety, he was scoring on either side of the ball on special teams.
What's the exact characteristics to be a successful football coach at North Dakota State? What's the candidate have to have?
You have to love this place, and it has to be more. It has to be about the players. It has to be the relationships that you're willing to make. I think in this time of college football, or where we're at, logistically with everything that's a distraction, I think the one thing we've done better than most, and I think it started with Chris Kleiman, and I think we just tried to emphasize it even more, is the relationships that we're able to build with players. And you hear their messaging in senior talks, how important it is, how important it was to them yesterday. So it has to still be about the players. So whoever we hire needs to be first and foremost, a good football coach, of course, but they got to look out for the players, because this place is driven by players. It has been driven by players, and will continue to be, driven by the talent and the caliber of young men we bring in. All right, thanks. See you in Montana.